special friend.
Oh my goodness. So have you heard of that program Best Buddies in Sacramento?
No. That's so funny.
Because okay, so only reason I know about it is because the billboards used to be like, where I used to live in that corner. The billboard would be right there in that corner, like every few months. Like there'll always like be another billboard about Best Buddies. So that's how I learned about the program. Yesterday, me and my sister went to Safeway, and we at the end of the line, but I can hear the cashier, engaging with customers and stuff. And I said, she sound interested, because it's just the way she was talking and stuff. And I was just like, what? I was like, she sound interested. And she's like, okay, like whatever. Da, da. So we get to the woman, and she was interested because she was part of the Best Buddies program, which is a program for people with disabilities and like autism and things. And they help them find buddies for peers and for like mentors and, like a daily helper. And they help them get jobs. And I guess Safeway's in collaboration with them. And so she works at Safeway.
So like, what does that mean? Like when people walk in, it's her job to help them, or what?
She was a cashier. She was a regular
So she
employee.
just do that on her off time.
No, like she's a regular employee.
But what does she do for buddies?
She is the client of the Best Buddies.
Oh, so she's in the program.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. And now she was like, I actually didn't know what the program was.
She like she Asian?
No, she was Caucasian.
Mm.
Yeah, and that day, she was promoting Best Buddies. She's like, "Do you guys want to donate to Best Buddies?" And I was like, it's clicking now. I get it.
Adding
now.
up.
It's all adding up. And so we're like leaving, and Ashley's like, "They must do that all the time," because me and Santana be like, "Where are these folks from?" Because they always in there, I guess, working in there.
Yeah.
And she was like, "That makes sense now," because we always questioned some of our cashiers.
I remember I had a cashier at Save Mart, and I didn't think nothing of it. I put all myself on the register, and I'm just chatting, and there's a natural flow to conversation.
Yeah.
This conversation had a little break in it, and I still didn't think nothing much of it. I just thought they were like, it was awkward because like, it's a female cashier, so I'm like, she's probably like, this dude's trying to mac at me. And I'm like, no, I'm just, if I'm gonna stand at this register for 35 seconds while you whip up all my stuff,
Yeah.
let me at least be pleasant.
Yeah.
So I'm chatting up with her, whatever. She's talking about she's into music, so I asked her, I'm like, yeah, like, tell me more about music. How'd you get into music? This and that, whatever. So she starts going on this rant about music.
Nice.
And she rants on about music, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is a long rant about music. Like, it's again, another breaking conversation. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a natural flow thing. And then, what's so funny? And then I looked at her. As she was talking, I'm examining her, and on her lanyard, she had a "Be patient with me, I'm autistic" sticker. And I was like, "Oh, that's what's up." Like, okay. I was in my head like, "See, people getting, like I said, many people out here, my people who got autism out here getting jobs and stuff like that, and really holding it down, because being a cashier is a hard job because y'all remember all the numbers and stuff like that. But she was over there fucking that shit up. She was just talking to me, and
Yeah.
like just going at it. The funny part though was at the end. It was her, and there was a female bagger, and the girl was bagging on my groceries and stuff like that, and she's almost done. She finishes up, I pay. She's still talking this whole time I'm talking about. She's talking, giving me her life story and all those different things. As she gets my receipt, the thing that we used to do at Save Mart when I used to be a cashier is that you'll lay the receipt down and circle the savings. So that way it bring eyes like, oh, I saved all this money at Save Mart, whatever.
Fill out the survey.
Yeah, and like here's a survey out for a chance to receive $500 gift card to groceries, blah blah blah, whatever. So I'm thinking she grabs the receipt and she's doing something with it. I'm thinking she's doing that, like, okay, like she's circling all that, whatever.
Yeah.
Why this girl gave me her number? And she said, "Call me," and then winked. I said, and I remember I'll never forget. I looked at the cashier, and the cashier was like, and I was just like, okay, and I dipped. So I remember I went to go I told Richard's dad about it. I was like, yeah, man, this girl who happened to have autism at the register, like, she was talking my ear off and gave me her number. And he said, you got her to talk? She'll never speak to, so she don't never speak to us.
Oh, wow.
So that really cracked me up.
Oh, I'm glad you made that impact on her. Obviously, she doesn't just talk to everybody.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It threw me. It was the number thing that threw me off.
Yeah.
I remember I was talking to my friends about it. I said, should I text her? He told me, I don't know. I said, I don't want to get the wrong idea. I'm just not going to text her.
Because it was the wink for me.
I was it was the wink. And I said, oh.
Because if it was just like a natural, like, oh, like we connected over music, like, but if it was the wink.
It was the wink that said,
yeah. Yeah.
It just had me dead. Because I'm like, dang, has nobody ever asked her about,
Maybe not.
Yeah. But shout out to her. She don't work there no more because it's not Save Mart. It's a food mat. So I hope she's doing good.
I'm still sad about that. But there's a Save Mart by my new place.
Because you live in the bougie area now. I'm over here with the bums. All I got is Winco, Save Mart. Hope somehow we got Safeway and Rayleigh's, but the Save Mart just couldn't live.
Right.
But anyway, welcome guys to another episode of the Special Friends Podcast. It's your boy Wuzi, and I'm here with the lovely
Eareoke.
And as you guys can tell, there's no Allie today.
Heartbroken.
Yeah, Allie recently had some family things going on, so she decided to take the day off. But she's here in spirit. She's always here in spirit. You know what I mean? Give me 1 second. But yeah, she's here in spirit. But nonetheless, we're gonna have a great time. She'll be back next week or next episode. So make sure you guys tune in and keep her in your guys' prayers, her prayers, and send positive energy, all the different things that you guys do. You know the vibe. But yeah, how you feeling, Ariel?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling weird a little bit because I don't have to serve at church tomorrow, and it's been a minute. So I feel like I should be preparing for tomorrow, but there's nothing actually to prepare for. So I'm trying to embrace it, but also it just feels out of place.
What are you going to do with this day then?
I was just planning on to relax after this.
What does that look like?
Doing nothing. Well, I was going to think about just declaring a little bit of my space so I can relax a little bit, and then kind of just catch up on a movie or a show that I've been wanting to watch. Maybe take a nap.
Yeah.
I made chicken salad.
So chicken salad, you mean like the mayonnaise and stuff?
Yeah.
Bless you. Bless your heart.
So I was looking forward to having chicken salad sandwich. You don't like chicken salad?
Huh?
You don't like chicken salad?
I used to work at Save Mart.
Oh.
I used to make chicken salad every day. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I just
is over it.
Yeah, it's not. I'd rather eat tuna.
Okay.
I'll fuck up some tuna salad.
I like both. I go between both, but yeah. So just gonna treat myself to a chicken salad sandwich and relax. And then tomorrow,
what a life.
Take it hour by hour, I guess.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah,
I ain't mad at
simple.
that. Yeah, I'm trying to be simple too.
Are you?
What does that mean?
What are you doing today?
We're not counting today. Why are you bringing up today? Today don't count. My life is simple outside of the work that I do.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, the work that I do is complicated, but my life is very simple. My life was never easy. Sorry, listen to a lot of Kanye West lately.
How are you feeling overall today?
How I'm feeling?
Yeah.
I have this thing that I do where I just, zone in, especially for the weekend. I just zone in. So I'm feeling good. My day didn't start off as well as I wanted. Oh God, the eye roll says everything.
The eye roll.
Yes, you said. So
I'm sorry.
Ariel thinks it's funny that I wanted to wake up at 4:30 this morning. I woke up at 6, and she thinks it's funny because I'm upset about it.
I don't think it's funny. I think it's ridiculous.
Why?
Because I get it. Like, you wanted those 2 extra hours to like do you like whatever you need to do, but I think your body needed those 2 extra hours, and that's okay.
That's cap. That's cap.
Okay.
I always wake up at 4:30, so I'm like, that's why it throws me off.
I know.
Now my whole day is like kind of like shit. It's kind of tilted, especially because this morning I wanted to do morning cardio, so I didn't get to do that. So I just woke up sitting there like, what do I do now? Everything was built around that. I literally had to go to my schedule when I woke up and start deleting a whole bunch of stuff. I was like, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Okay, so we kind of in the same boat then. Like, I feel out of place because I don't have all this stuff, and you feel out of place because you feel like your day was just shifted and some things got eliminated from your agenda.
Yeah, because I mean I can't fit it all in when you cramp it. You know, when you lose 2 hours.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to editing. So yeah, I mean, again, I think it's funny that you think it's funny. I think it's ridiculous. But anyways.
It's okay. I validate you now. I took
Thanks.
it into my own perspective of experience today, so I get it.
Yeah. But no, I'm feeling like I said, I'm just zoned in. I'm ready to turn it into projects I've been working on and then recording a new one. Finishing up some other projects, obviously doing this, just kind of getting in that flow. Really been getting heavily into the video bag, and it's just weird. It's just because I think to myself all the time, like, I saw this video of Rick Rubin. He was talking about why it's important to have someone like, why it's important to have something support you while you do the things that you love. Because if you rely, he was talking about a comedian. He's like, if a comedian quit his job and went all in and waited for and wanted the comedian, basically the comedy shows to support him, his comedy show work will look completely different.
Yeah.
Versus if he had something that supported him financially, and then he can actually do the real work or do comedy the way that he would like to do it. So I was thinking about that to myself as well. Like when it comes to the stuff that I'm doing now, it's like there's some days where I'm like, man, I just wish that I could only do this. But I also think to myself, like, the moment that happens, would the work that I do look completely different?
Yeah.
Which is, it's cool. It's a cool thing, but also like a nerve-wracking thing because, like, yeah, I still opt to not have to go to work because I think about all especially when I'm at work, not doing nothing. Not that I do nothing at work, but when I'm at work and there's a lull, it's like this could be time that I could be editing something that I really need to get done. Yeah. But also knowing myself, who would know I wouldn't have way more projects going on.
Yeah, and then like it's something about that breathing room too that you're allowed to have, just knowing you have something sustaining you underneath all that. So.
Yeah, because I know if I don't get no episode, if I don't get no after this contract, if I don't get no more contracts, like my bills are still gonna get paid. Versus it feels like gotta be.
Yeah, on go at all times, and it's feeling it could get to a point where it feels more like an obligation than like something you're enjoying doing.
Probably will get there too at one point.
Yeah, it comes with seasons sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not mad at all. Give me a second. Any hoodle. I ain't gonna worry about it today.
Any hoodle?
Yeah, literally any hoodle. But yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, I got another recording session after this, and then later on tonight I have a commission that I'm doing. So yeah, today is just working on projects I get done. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, I'm kind of not thinking about it. I feel like some people think about it and get emotional and attach and get like in their feelings and start adding stuff to it.
Yeah.
I don't do all that. I just got shit to do. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now. But yeah, I was going to ask you, we got some topics here, obviously. But before we get into the topics, it's so funny. My phone tweaking, boy. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
What's going on?
That's what I'm saying. You see what and y'all be trying to tell iPhone is the best, but y'all gotta cut that out. My life was never easy.
Is that the soundtrack to the episode?
Yeah. Literally.
Oh, wow.
I missed something. Just gonna do a little hard reset. Don't worry about it. But
You can always bring it back, right?
Huh?
You want to ask me something, you can bring it back.
I was gonna try to pull up the topics.
Um,
But I was gonna ask you just in general, like, how does it feel to be back on the mics? I know you used to have your own podcast, and now you know.
I didn't have my own podcast. It was, well, I don't know. People called it a podcast, but it was just something I did.
You had your own series.
Yeah, like a periodic series of like me just kind of ranting about things I learned. And like different developments, personal developments of myself. It feels okay. It feels good. I'm still adjusting to
What's the adjustment?
be in front of camera, because even with that one, I didn't have video for it.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
At the time, I just
What you afraid of?
okay. If you want to get into it, no, sorry. So in 2024, I have a goal of dismantling my fear around being seen. And so I've been intentional about stepping out of that fear and like the different barriers and hindrance that comes with it. And so that's why I'm doing this.
What do you feel like when you say like you're dismantling the fear of being seen? Like what do you feel like? What do you feel like that stems from?
I'm not sure. I feel like part of it stems from my childhood, in a sense of like I never felt truly seen or heard growing up, like within my family unit. Heard because I was young and no one validated my opinions and things like that. Like they're just like, oh, you're young, you don't know enough to even speak on this or whatever, or to have an opinion. So I got that a lot. Or I was young and I have a small voice, so like everyone has overtalked me and like never heard me. So that was something I had to like come out of. And I think the same thing, I don't know. I don't feel like I was never like fully seen. Like I feel like people recognize me and acknowledge me in my family, but it was more so like their idea of me, not who I truly was. So I think these last year or two, and especially this year, has been more like this is me as me and not who the person you perceive me to be or hope for me to be. And now me taking that, embracing that, and fully living that out and being like, don't be afraid to just be authentically you and be seen as authentically you and not what people have created you to be in their image. So I think that's kind of where it stems from and kind of where I'm at and all that. But yeah, so this year I'm trying to be more me in every space that I'm in and every space I'm occupying, and not being afraid to be seen as who I truly am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's funny listening to you say that because I mean, I guess it is a little bit different. Like my mom's the youngest of 14, so I was always, even though I'm the oldest in my immediate family, as far as like my sister and them, I'm the youngest of like my grand family, like on a grand scale. And it's funny like to hear you say that because I definitely can relate to that, but I don't know. I guess I never thought about it that way. You know, like I think about, you know, there's definitely like certain, especially like, so like good examples is I think a camera and video, like a camera is a good symbol for like being seen. You know, it's literally an eyeball staring at you, and there's no like human behind it type beat, and you know people are gonna watch it, so you have to what's the word I'll use? Like you have to give it like a personality. You personify it. So how you view people viewing you is what you're kind of talking to in a sense. And I feel like that's crazy to think about, because when I first started doing like video stuff, I remember thinking to myself like that, like, these niggas about to roast me for this. They about to get on me, like, who you think you are, type stuff. But once I got past that part, it made me realize, like, one, that's not true. Two, like the concepts that people have over you are based in like these boxes. Like my family, like my older family that I hung out when I was younger, they have a perception of who Najar is. My family that's been with me my whole life, they got a perception of who Najar is. And then like people who just met me in this part of life, they have a perception of who Najar is. And it's cool to see those different perceptions. And I do think it is scary to like come to like confront those, because I definitely had people who like saw me as this like little goofy kid, fat kid, this and that, whatever. And then like now they see me and like they see me doing stuff that I'm doing, they're like, that's Najar. Like I can't even imagine. So I think it's pretty interesting, and I think it's a good idea, like you said, to kind of break down those barriers of like who people perceive you to be, because at the end of the day, it's all about who you perceive you to be, because, or at least just say who you want to be, because that should ultimately like, what's the word? What's the word for it? Shoot, there's like a specific word that I want to use. That should direct basically where you should go based on where you want to be.
Yeah, I think this is just like another level of me like breaking out of like people pleasing. I went through like a huge shift in 2020 and 2021, 2022, where I realized I didn't trust myself. And it was out of the fact that I never really made decisions for myself alone, like solely on my own decision. I always had treated my family as like this pedestal, I guess, idea. And so I trusted them to make decisions for me. I value their opinion way more than I should have. And so
what does that mean?
I feel like you definitely should value your family's opinions, especially if you have a healthy relationship with your family and they're wise people and they're grounded in faith and things like that. But I think ultimately you should make the decision for yourself, because it's your life. You're the one who has to deal with the consequences of that decision, not necessarily them all the time. So I'm not saying to discount them altogether, but I think your opinion and your intuition and your wisdom should hold more weight than theirs, because it's your life. And so for me, I was operating out of like relying on them to make decisions for me based off who they wanted me to be or who they had perceived me to be. And it was to a point where I'm just like, I looked at my life and I was just like, I did all this for them, not me. Like,
when did you come to realize that?
Literally like 2020, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And
how old were you?
I was 28, 29. And I think that's part of that shift that happens when you're about to turn 30, especially for women. You kind of like sit with yourself and be like, what have I been doing and why have I been doing it? Like, what is your why? What is your intentions? Like, kind of checking yourself. And so I had that come to Jesus moment. And I'm just like, I've been doing all this for them. Like, what have I done for me? What decision have I made for me? What decision have I made for myself? And so that was the breaking point. And then I think now is the part of me where I need to be comfortable being seen in my gifts, my talents, my dreams, my passions, and just my personality overall, my body, all those things. So
I think this is an important conversation, because especially me, as I'm 27, I was talking to an artist, shout out to Lemon, and I remember she was telling me she's I think she's in her early going leading into her mid-20s, and she was saying, yeah, she's getting to a point where she's kind of like realizing she's been operating from an inauthentic place and wants to operate more in authenticity. And I think that always throws me when I hear people talk like that, because, and this is also counterintuitive, because given so the perception that people have when I say that I'm a Jehovah's Witness, they always think like, oh, that's a cult. Like, bro, you can't. You're basically there's an archetype already involved when it comes to that. But I will say at least the way that my grandma raised me in it, the ultimate lesson she always gave me is that you need to make a decision about what you need to do, and like I can't force you to do anything. Yeah. But because at the end of the day, when you go deal with judgment, it's your decision, not mine.
Yeah, yeah.
So just living with like that, kind of having that ingrained with me, even when it comes to a level of authenticity, it's like I had this conversation with someone recently. They're pressing me like, why are you worried about what people think? And I'm like, I'm not worried about what people think when it's stuff that I want to do, but there is a problem. I am aware of what people think when I'm doing something that's not authentic to me, because that's all I can think about. Like, dang, how is somebody gonna perceive me if I do something? If I'm doing what's true to me, I don't give a fuck what you think, because I know I have a solid reason and a grounding for what I'm doing. But when you're doing something inauthentic, all you can really do is think about what somebody gonna perceive you as, which is going to constantly make you do things to please that image, or please that person. So I get
stuck in that.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting conversation, especially for other people who probably relate to either being in that place or in that place. I had that conversation with CJ all the time. Like, you know, we had to get to a point where we realize we're doing stuff for us, because if I do stuff for my mom and my dad, that's cool until they pass away. And then I'm left with this life that was for them.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And you still have all these years most likely to live, and you're just like either having to start over again or do this work within yourself to figure out what you want in life.
Well, people started having midlife crisis because they realized you were only doing it because you're getting validation from them. But once they're gone, now you don't get that validation. So it's like.
Do you feel like there's people in your life where you still seek validation in some ways, like other than God?
Validation? I mean, I wouldn't use the word validation. I will say there's certain people in my life that I do want to bring them peace, in the sense that I know that they're. Me growing up, being a smart kid, being an academically smart kid, especially really inclined in math, that's like a ticket to make a lot of money as a career if you go the academic route. Me also being like a robot and kind of being disciplined, and some of my family let me go to the military, like that was just like to them, the path laid out. He gonna go to school, he can go to the military, do his time, is now whatever, he gonna be set. When I deviated from that route, a lot of people came to me and had a lot of fear about like, what is your future gonna look like now? Because like, you know, it's like you saying you can go on the trajectory, but like we can't see it.
Yeah.
And honestly, at the time, I can't say I saw it either, but I just knew like
this wasn't
that.
it.
Yeah, that wasn't like I would have did that for y'all and it'd have been cool. And even up to that point in high school, I was kind of doing that for y'all because, like, mama be tripping. So let me go ahead and do this AP class. Let me go ahead and send out these college applications. Let me go ahead and do all this to make them feel comfortable, make them feel easy. By the end of the day, like you said, when I got to that point where I'm like, I'm about to be 18 and like anything I do is my fault. It's going to be all on me. I'm not going to no military. I'm not going to college. I gotta go pay back college debt.
Yeah.
No, I'm not about to do that. So, but with that being said, there was a lot of worry about especially me being the oldest brother. There is a lot of worry of like, you know, if something happened to me, how you gonna take care of everybody else? And sadly, that's just the factor that comes in being the older brother.
Yeah.
So I do want to get to a point where I can bring peace to those people. And I mean, I've done that even in my own career. Like I got a decent job and stuff like that. And I got trajectory in that way if I wanted to follow that. But ultimately, I want to start a business. I've started business. I want to sustain a business and be able to work for myself. And make everybody else feel comfortable. Like, oh, okay, you know, like I'm not worried about if something happened to me because I know he got it. You know, so I'm not looking for validation. Like I want them to be like they're proud of me. Like I don't need that I'm proud moment. I'm like I think I got past that a long time ago. I'm more want them to be at peace, and I understand for them that means seeing that money's coming in consistently.
Yeah.
So that's just me. Like I'm not validation. No, like it's cool. Like I really like what you do. Like oh, thanks. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do think that people who are age are definitely need to take the time to understand the motivations of what they're doing. Because if you have, you know, a motivation that's kind of like, I want to use the word weak, because it's not
like
weak.
outside of yourself.
Yeah, like if your motivation is outside pressure, once that outside pressure stops, or if it becomes too much, you're gonna crumble. But if it's internal pressure, it will always push you forward.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, at least. Yeah. So, anywho, my phone's working now. Pull up these tops.
So we were talking earlier about how we miss Save Mart and how, you know, interacting with cashiers.
Yeah.
And having that small talk and maybe, you know, making their day just by acknowledging them at work. So Allie actually, I know she's not here today, but I'm gonna share hers.
You found one?
Yeah, she found her third place.
Nice.
And so it's a grocery store.
Is it?
Yeah. Which I thought was so unique and like adorable, but apparently like the grocery store just does it for her. Like she goes there, she feels good about getting foods that nourish her body and her well-being. She takes her time. She enjoys interacting with the workers, and it's just something to do in between like work and home, something to like just go decompress, focus on her and like what she needs, and then go home. So I know that third places have become a hot topic online lately. So that's what we were talking about. But did you ever figure out?
So to explain a little bit further, like a third place, from how I understood it was, it's a place that, because the first place, you know, we all have places that we exist on a daily basis. Our first place is home. That's where we probably spend, if not majority, a good chunk of our time. The second biggest chunk is work, is because you know we all gotta exist and live somewhere. So we have to work. So work and home are the two places that, you know, we spend majority of our time and build our relationships and build dynamics and everything in. And so you're talking about this third place is that same realm, but usually you're more tailored to whatever you enjoy. That's what it sounds like. So I think a lot of, it's funny that she says grocery store, because I feel like a lot of people's third place is the grocery store.
Yeah.
As someone who used to work at Save Mart, there used to be a lot of people I used to see every day. And Lily, I remember one lady said, I'll never forget what the lady said. She's like, I love coming to Save Mart. It's like going to Disneyland for me.
Oh, I love that.
She said, I'll never forget that. She's like, she didn't go like every day, but she'll come like once a week and get her groceries. She's like, it's like Disneyland for me. I get to walk around, have a good time, sample stuff, talk to people, this and that, whatever, enjoy myself and go home. And, you know, it sounds funny at the time, but given this conversation, like, I guess I can understand it where you go to this place and like you made the joke before, everybody knows your name, or a good chunk of people know your name. You know, there's some banter, some back and forth. They're invested in you, and that is a lot of comfort in that. Especially if things are depending on what's going on in your personal life, that's a place that you can go when things aren't going good. The other two places, I can go to this grocery store, and they're gonna be happy to see me, and this, that, whatever. So, as far as like me having a third place, I don't think I have a third place per se. as of right now. I think when I was in Fresno, I had like third, fourth, five, fifth places. Like just going to events and being in certain circles. Being a photographer, I'll go into these different events, but it was like the same people or similar people. So I got a lot of that where it's like you see somebody again, like, oh, what's up? See an artist again, like, hey, bro, how you been? Stuff like that. So that was a place for me. Me doing a lot of the creative work that I do, I don't have the diligence and the determination and the discipline to do that at home all the time. Just because home for me is very distracting. Because I have all the stuff that I do for work, but I also have all the stuff that I enjoy to do for fun.
Yeah.
So going somewhere externally, I used to go to a place called Teasers, coffee shop, stuff like that. And I find myself, that's like another place for me where it's like, oh, it's good to see you again. This and that, whatever. Like, excited to talk to them and stuff like that. And I mean, obviously the grocery store is another one for me because I don't know. I think people notice I just be happy-go-lucky. So people just be like, they be happy to see me again. Yeah. So I think those are my couple of places that I do find, even where I go somewhere different, like I move to a different side of town or now I'm in a different city. I feel like those places I usually end up seeing people. Those are usually the same people I see. Like I'll go to events out here, and now I'm starting to see certain faces like, hey, bro, what's that?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I got like 3, 4, 5 places.
I think that's good though.
Yeah.
I think that's healthy. Just to have those different dynamics, and it's always a different like vibe too in those different arenas. So
Rochambeau. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Rochambeau.
Rochambeau's another place.
Yeah, I think that is like one of your third or fourth or fifth places.
Yeah, I think I got like 6 now.
6.
But what about you? What was your third place, or do you have a third place?
So I don't technically have a third place yet. Like we talked about before, like I would say church.
That's another one for me. I forgot. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's another one for you. I feel like church is my third place right now, but I think I want another, like either like a cafe or lounge type vibe, or a bookstore, or even like maybe a dance studio now that I'm thinking about getting back into dancing. Mm-hmm. So I think those are like my hopeful third places where I can walk in there and people recognize me, know me. I'm considered like a regular, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just always wanted that like vibe.
What's stopping you?
Before I feel like I used to just make excuses about either not having enough time or energy or money about stuff. But I'm at the point where I'm just like, I should be doing stuff I enjoy doing. And not saying I don't enjoy my work, because I actually do enjoy the work that I do.
Yeah.
I enjoy serving at Hope. And I enjoy being at home too. But it's just like I want to have like a community of folks who have similar interests as me, who's into tea, who's into dancing, who's into reading. So yeah, I think I'm gonna work on developing my like third place in one of those areas.
I think the interesting part about you now in a third place is somebody who's focused on community. You would think you have multiple places.
I know it's not what. Well, I guess because I bring community where I'm at, like I bring that intentionality in where I'm at. So where I'm at home, even though they find it weird, my siblings, or if I'm in work, like that's something I'm always trying to develop for my peers within the work system. Like I'm always the employee who's like trying to gather folks to have those connecting pieces outside of like, oh, you're my colleague and we just have to work together. Mm-hmm. Like to make sure people feel connected interpersonally and also have a space to take care of themselves in a work setting. So I bring that into my work and I bring that into Hope, but it's just, yeah, I think that is a great example of me like not fully living out like all the things I stand for, right? So yeah, I think I am prioritizing that for this year of just creating that third place for myself.
I think the interesting thing about having this conversation about a third place is, you know, I always joke around everything's cyclical because it's true. You know, I think about, you know, like I think about the place that we are, and I can't speak for everybody, but from the conversations I've had with people, a lot of people nowadays literally all they do is go to work and go home. And like they'll have a third thing they do, like go to school, or really it'd be that, at least people my age, it'd be go to school. Like it,
Yeah.
if you're not going to work, you're not going to school, you're not going home, or you're not going out to like get turned up or something like that. Like that's the only areas I see a lot of my friends in right now. And not truthfully, but generally people that I know, I shouldn't say friends because my friends are a little bit dope. So it makes sense that this is a trend because I feel like a lot of people have, you know, especially with the hustle culture, like get that money, get that money, get that money, get the money. It's like, what room do you have to go do something else? Yeah. You know, not to mention more, it's like if getting your money is so you can get like, you know, like an object or something like that, then it's like there's like maintenance to those different things and stuff like that. So that can also prevent you. And I think that's funny. I think it's important to think about it in that way. Like, what are you giving time to that really ain't doing nothing for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was talking to my cousin yesterday about car notes because I was like, I was telling him I was like, people think that I'm against car notes, and I am, but I'm not. I understand they serve a purpose. Yeah. If there's a need attached to it, because when my car was acting up, and my grandma needed a car, I'm like, I'm willing to give her my car and go get a car note. Then she get a car note. You know, it would suck, but I'm willing to do that, whatever. And I was thinking about it like, if I buy this car, it would cost this amount of month, insurance would be this and that, whatever. And as I was doing the math, I was thinking to myself, now I see why I could never ever get a car note. All that extra money that I use to do all the things that I love to do, and like I can go rent a car and drive to LA and hang out and you know, connect in the way that I do with this work, is because I don't have those different boundaries that, you know, I don't care to have a new car. I'm cool with a bucket, you know. I don't care to buy expensive clothes. I don't care to buy these different things. And not that I haven't done it in the past, but because I don't care to do those things or don't even care to make the most amount of money possible, I have a lot of space for some kind of doing some other things. Like to do. Yeah. So I don't know. Why do you feel like it's becoming a trend? Like where do you think it's coming from?
I think it's definitely truth to how you explained it, and like the hustle culture of people kind of getting lost in that and realizing like, I don't do things that I actually love doing or like doing, which as adults, like, of course there's going to be things we don't like doing, but we do anyway, just because we have to exist and sustain. But I think it's just like a wake up call for folks, because it's not like this is a new concept. Apparently it's been around in sociology for a while. But I think just people having that wake up call of just like, dang, I really just been giving my last like 2 years to just work. And I don't have community, or I have to like pencil my friends in. That's another big conversation people like have memes about. It's just like, I got to schedule out times I hang out with my friends like 3 weeks, 2 months in advance. And before it'd be like, you just call them up, hey, let's hang out. And now it's just like, I think the older you get, you have all these other responsibilities and obligations. So I think people are liking it because it's different than how things been the last like 7-8 years. Like we're actually tapping into like things we enjoy doing as adults, because like kids, like that's all we used to do was just things we like doing. But I think when people become adults, especially in the pressure of society, we get caught up in like, well, I got to do this because of this, and we start to neglect ourselves and what I like to call it personal prescription is. So yeah, I think it's trendy because we need it. And people are just waking up and realizing they just been going through the motions.
Yeah, and I think that's what's cracked me up. That's what cracks me up because we hate, and I say as Gen Z because technically y'all called me Gen Z yesterday. So I mean on Thursday they called me a Gen Z guys. Yeah, I'm born '97.
Millennial.
Whatever. Anyway, as a Zillennial / Gen Zer, a lot of people of my generation hate on older people, and not the millennials, but the generate y'all parents. Mm-hmm. Dang, all they do is work and this now whatever. Like all they do. But them some of the people, if you actually like take a step back out of your feelings and actually examine them people, they be having stuff that they love to do. Like a lot of them people will go to work and that's all they do. But guess what? Every Thursday they have bike night. Mm-hmm. Or every time there's a trip for the bikers to go somewhere, they all going together. Or like when we went to the roller skate rink, a lot of OGs. I see y'all next Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like they have a better grasp, especially as me. Like I'm on this big focus about balance and trying to find out and trying to understand what balance of career and social life looks like. And I feel like that generation has the key, in my opinion, of like what balance is and understanding that don't get emotional about going to work. It's just something that you have to do to support yourself.
Yeah.
But you have to complement that with things that you want to do and love to do. Mm-hmm. You know, that I feel like that's the key that I'm starting to learn from people of that generation. Like, you think they like going to work and they work, in a factory or they work like a little mundane job? No, but it pay their bills. They don't ever got to worry about where they're going to eat and stuff like that. And because of that allows them to do the fun stuff that they do.
Yeah. I think another thing to the balance is like balance looks different for each individual.
Oh, 100%.
And I think people get caught up in like this basic structure that they think balance is supposed to look like. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's why people get caught up in, I guess, pursuing balance instead of determining what balance is for them.
Yeah.
And then I agree with like, yeah, that generation, they always have poker night and all these other things. But I think for our generation, we get, millennials and Gen Z, like, unfortunately, we're still kind of caught up in, especially for millennials, money stuff and like how we appear to have money or whatever. And so when we think about activities, we think money has to be involved in it.
How can I flex this?
Or how can I flex this? Or how can I be the guy for this or whatever, instead of just doing stuff we enjoy, whether it costs money or not. And I know that there's barriers to our finances because...
Or even like that, like you said right there, instead of thinking about doing stuff to join a community, you're doing stuff to
flex.
Not even to flex. It is to flex, but the more important part is you're doing something to impress a wider community of people.
Yeah.
Who aren't interested in the stuff that you do. They're just interested in new stuff.
Yeah.
They're interested in the shiny things.
I think people get caught up in that, unfortunately. And also, I think people get caught up in the fact that if they can't do that thing that may cost like quite an investment, they're like, well, I can't do anything then. It's like an all or nothing thing. And it's just like, where can you still express yourself or still engage in things you enjoy doing within your means? And I think some people feel like that's settling, but it's not. Like there's still a benefit to engaging in a community or engaging in some type of activity that still pours into you or still allows you to express yourself or still allows you to, do something you like doing.
Well, like, and that can look in different ways, like, and I want to touch on something first because I think you said something important I want to touch on about balance. The key, I don't know if anybody has listened to the Creative Balance Show, I always ask a question of, how do you find balance? Like, how do you balance your life, whatever? I think the key is what you said. There is no one size fits all of balance. Mm. I think the best thing Desiree Washington, some of my interviews said was, It's all about your capacity. Some people have a capacity to load their back up with a lot of stuff and still not tip the scales. And some people, it might take a little bit and it'd be a wrap. So you got to be aware of that, you know what I'm saying? And tailor your life to it and not succumb to what everybody else deems as balance. For me, I don't need, some people need, I need something to do. I need like something fun to do every day.
Yeah.
If I have a little bit of fun every day, I can get through the day. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Me, I'm the type of person, I can work for 3 months, 6 months straight. And as long as I have like a sabbatical type period where it's like, I'm not focused on no work, I'm just having fun, that's good for me. You know, and some people, like I said, they want to have fun all the time, you know, and I think all those are equally possible. Just it all has their caveats and benefits. You know, that's why I think that's why van life came up. I want to, you know, some people, I want to work wherever I want to work from, and I want to, you know, if that means getting rid of my house or getting rid of my apartment, and I can go travel and be in the mountains, stuff like that, that's worth it to me, you know. So I think everybody has their flavor of what balance is for them, and I definitely agree and wanted to like put forth that point that when you think about balance, you really have to realize that balance is whatever your balance is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If my capacity is 110 pounds, I could put way more on the other side and whatever. But if your capacity is only 50 pounds, you can't take what I'm doing and try to apply it, you know?
Yeah.
But like you said about the third place, I think because we get caught up trying to, you know, get approval from people in this wider community, we find ourselves stretched thin in a bunch of different places, and we don't find ourselves engaged in different places. Like, yeah, I'm doing this thing, but I'm only doing this thing because.
Yeah, like, are you really present? Are you engaged? Are you? And this goes back to like just checking your intentions and motivations behind things.
Yeah.
So,
like, are you in a car club because you like car stuff and seeing other people's car stuff like that? Or are you in a car club because you want to flex your car and get, you know what I'm saying, get that praise for that
and get follows and
yeah, you know, those are important questions.
or get girls.
Hey, it's a tool. Use your tools. I mean, I think this is a good place to kind of go into the whole like Roman Empire. So Ariel brought up this topic. She said she saw basically like it was this like correlation of people realizing that white dudes love talking about the Roman Empire. They all
and it'd be heavy on their minds like daily.
Yeah, like they think about what position they would have in the world of Roman Empire. Like, you know, what they love this concept of like the Roman Empire and all the different things that come with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess through that started to notice that everybody kind of got this thing that they like certain groups of people and archetypes of people have this thing that they're like obsessing about secretly. So she kind of wanted to bring up the topic of what, you know, what's something that would be equivalent to that Roman Empire? Like what's something that you think about a lot that, you know, I don't want to say it's like not normal, but it's, you know, it's just
like, what?
Yeah, it's just something that you don't really have a correlation on why you should be thinking about it. Like thinking about the Roman Empire is cool, but you know, where's the correlation to your day-to-day life? You know, you work at T-Mobile. Why you worry about this Roman Empire, you know?
Yeah.
You know, type stuff. So, you know, I want her to go first. Like, what do you feel like? Do you have something equivalent to the Roman Empire? Or maybe your group of friends do?
So for me, I was telling you guys, like, I think my Roman Empire is community, but I feel like it still kind of correlates to what I do. But I think it's weird how obsessed I am with it, like how much I think about it and like research it, especially when it comes to like co-housing and like having compounds and like buying land and creating cities and all those things that I think about and like look into. And I think sometimes it's not a burden per se, but sometimes it's discouraging because we don't live in like a community collective kind of society anymore. And so it's like kind of disheartening because I'm like, oh, like, am I ever going to meet other people that like think about community as much as I do? Or like want to engage in community as much as I do, or like develop a community as much as I do. But yeah, that's my Roman Empire. I don't know. I feel like there is a correlation just because of my personality and like the things I choose to use my energy with. But people do find it weird that I think about community a lot, or I bring it up in conversation.
I don't think that's weird though.
But some people do. They're like, how did you connect this conversation to community? And I'm like, because everything's connected in community.
It's all community.
It's all community.
I feel that. I've been trying to think about what my Roman Empire is, and I don't know if I have something like that. Like, I know I have things, I think we talked about that topic similar to this about like things that like are guilty pleasures type beat. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I do think about like watching a lot of these like survivalist live and stuff like that, and like thinking to myself like if I was in the woods, like this is where I'll look for water this way, and I'll have these different tools, like and really thinking like I'll get in that bag, like, man, like I know if I go, like I know the first thing I'm about to do, I'm about to go find some food,
low key,
find some shelter.
Maybe that is my Roman Empire. Because everyone knows how obsessed I am with like post-apocalyptic like media, and I think about it a lot, like because even moving with my siblings, like I'm like, okay, I'm in this new neighborhood. Where are the quickest exits? Where are the gas stations? In this case, do I need to invest in it? Like, I don't know. I guess maybe that's more so. Because like even like my friends, they be like, we know if something go down, we just hit up E. Yeah. She go have everything prepared and be ready to go. Yeah. So maybe that's my. I think about like how can I survive the world crashing?
Yeah, like and like that's what I like. I feel like that's probably mine as well, and not in the sense like I actually do those things, but I'm very much aware of like absorbing that kind of media and learning about it. Like, let me watch this episode about how this guy survived this plane crash and got help. Yeah. Okay, hold on. If you drink your pee, you could drink it for this many cycles. like bruh. like, or like, okay, he used this to like, okay, this is how you create some signs. Like,
how do you create water from wind?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think stuff like that for me is probably like when you get into that, like, because I don't believe in aliens or nothing like that, or at least I don't believe in aliens the way people believe in aliens, but like I don't believe in aliens and all that stuff, or I'm a history buff, but I'm not in that way of like, really plugging myself into that time. Mm-hmm. But like survival things are just like for me, like even like watching survival movies. Like I was watching what's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and the bear? Shoot, what is that?
Oh,
The Revenant.
Revenant, yeah.
I remember thinking to myself, like, if I lived in that time period, would I be able to would I be able to survive? Like, can I tap into my ender? Because my grandma was Native American. Can I tap into my Native American spirit and be, forage and, like really live in the woods and hide from the folks? And I'm like, so something like that. I was like, nigga, like I like to play with the idea. Like I think I could go out there and live off the land. Yeah. I'd be able to create water and then, like do all this stuff. But then I think to myself like, nigga. Come on now. So I think that would be my Roman Empire.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even consider it, but you bringing it up like, yeah, I think about that way too much. Yeah. And I have conversations about it a lot with certain friends.
Well, and I've connected with people. Like I got my friends, like we always talk about like, oh, if the world blew up, we know exactly what we're about to do. We're not getting together. It's like we want it, like not like that, like we wouldn't get together, but more like I know what I'm going for. Like I'm going for the grocery store. Yeah. Stuff like that. Like, and things like that. So it's funny that you brought it up. Cause I was like thinking to myself, like, that's something I'd definitely be obsessing about. That don't really apply to none of the life that I do. Like, you wouldn't even know that I think about that. But if you brought it up, like if someone else brought it up, like, yeah, bro, like I'd be thinking about this. Like, I remember one time I was talking to my friends about the cooking rock, like find out you can cook on rocks. Mm-hmm. I was like, bro, that's so clean. He was like, bro, you watch those too? And I remember we were sitting there like, yeah, bro. I remember that nigga took the oil and made the.
It's so intriguing.
Like using, like getting the like certain type of leaf, washing it and using that to like brush it with the seasoning and stuff. I said, what the fuck?
It's so intriguing when I watch those videos.
And that's another thing that I do a lot. And I think that's just a tone to the generation I grew up in is like seeing how things are made. Because I love making stuff from scratch. So like even learning to like, you know, obviously like chili powder is a dried chili that they grind up to the point where it's a powder. And garlic is just dried stuff. And when you realize like all this stuff is just dry, like, oh, I can make my own seasonings too.
That's how I feel about canning. Like I be watching canning videos.
Yeah. It's kind of clean.
But wow. Yeah. Thanks for
helping you out.
Yeah, because I definitely think about that probably
so
daily.
Let me ask you, because I think the thing about the Roman Empire conversation is funny, is like, why do you think about stuff like that? Or even more step further back, how did you even get introduced into all that?
How did I get introduced? I think just because I had a strong interest in media, the media, like sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, survivalist, whether it's reading about it or watching a movie or a television show, it just always drew me in. Like those are my favorite shows to consume. I don't know if that was the introduction to it. And then my pastor growing up, he had this strong opinion, I don't know how true it is, that our government has this like underwritten law that they have to tell us as citizens what's going on behind the scenes without directly, but they don't have to tell us directly, they just have to tell us. And he was saying how like they use media to tell us like what they're working on, what they're developing, what they're learning and like discovering. And so now I look at media like these niggas trying to tell us something, and I'm listening. I'm tuned in. And so I think that's what triggers me to think about it, because it's just like, if they got this going on, then I'm be prepared, because this means it's about to happen in the next, probably within my lifetime, which with the AI stuff happened within my lifetime. So I'm just like, I don't know. I think that's what kind of drew me in more like intentionally, because I'm like, I think there's truth to that. Like, they're telling us through the media what they're discovering and what they're working on.
That's what's up.
But yeah, I love watching and learning that stuff, and even with like how millennials are like tapping back into like homesteading and like living off the grid and stuff. Like I'm definitely into wanting to learn that. I have a friend who he's about to go do that, and he always be like, "We could just go live," you know. I'm like, it's so tempting, but I also like AC, and I feel like I would love to learn those things to know it. And I probably could, but to live it deliberately, I don't know. Yeah. Like I want to be able to survive if I forced to live in that way, but on a regular basis, I'm like, I could do that for a season, but I probably couldn't want to go back to a home.
Yeah. That's interesting. I feel like that's funny. As you were talking, I was trying to think to myself about why I'm obsessed about it. I don't know why. Like, I mean, well, raised as a Jehovah's Witness, you raised to realize the world gonna end one day. So you gotta have your shit together. Yeah. Like you gotta have all your stuff to go. When the world blow up, you gotta know where to go and what to have. So that's just a given. Yeah. But on top of that, like I think I've always had a fascination with creating something from nothing. Like I think about like, you know, we see a steak. Me, I always like know the origin. So it's like a steak is a cut of meat. So like sometimes I look into like butchering, like how do you this and that, whatever. So like, well, butchering, you gotta we'll look into gutting. Like, well, that's how you gut it. I was like, well, you know, like so now I got looking like how you raise it, and you know, so like, so it's like different things like that. And I find myself in that world of like, I don't know, just the world of survivalist, where it's like, you know, you can, if you do it this way, you do it this, it'll last this long. If you do it this way, it won't last as long. It's not whatever. Here's things that you can do to make it work. It's not whatever. Because I just feel like as a society, obviously, we just got everything so easy. Like, without Wi-Fi, niggas just feel like the world about to end. Without electricity, niggas really feel like the world about to end.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think to myself all the time, like, would I be able to, if the power went out for a week, will my life change that much? Obviously it would, but it's like, I think I could, like I said, something I want to learn how to do that I have never done before, which is something simple. I don't know how to start a charcoal fire. Okay. I've always had propane, but I'm like, if the world blow up, where we gonna get propane tanks at?
Yeah.
So like, I should maybe learn how to make charcoal and then evolve that into like wood, stuff like that. Like this, I just like these little different things that I would like to have that if push came to shove, I'm
having
not
a toolkit.
Yeah, I'm not bound by the like the benefits of society. Like I can go
the luxury.
Yeah, because like even like that's what I like about when I like my
luxury amenities.
Yeah, like I remember my friend went to Vietnam and he told me that when he went to the grocery store there was not as many options as we have here. Like he said, it made him take a step back. He's like, bro, we have hella options for like cereal and bread and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like
even with vegetables, like a lot of countries still work in this whatever's in season.
Yeah, exactly.
We just modifying and growing.
We got broccoli and
vegetables
stuff.
And fruit.
Yeah.
In every season, making up fruit and vegetables.
Making up fruit. For real. I think it's pretty cool, but I think it's a pretty cool concept. What are your guys' where's your guys' Roman Empire, or what was the other one?
Third place.
Yeah, what's your third place? I want to know where your guys' third. Like I said, I always think it's funny I got multiple places because I'm like, I really don't have third place. I have like 7 places.
Are you happy with it being like 7 places?
All the places? Hell yeah. I mean, because I'm thinking about it like, this is how I think about it, especially when you think about the concept of like being somewhere where you're like, you feel like there's community and you feel welcome. Mm-hmm. I enjoy going to different places because I feel like I'm a multifaceted person. Yeah. If that's the right word. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's different things that go to me. I feel like I am a cultural person. Yeah. So I love that I can go into many different rooms and connect, whether that be like I'm trying to get into coffee. Like I'm a tea guy, but I want to get into coffee to understand it. So I'm drinking more coffees that don't have as much sugar in it and stuff like that. Trying to understand, break that down. Same thing with wine. I'm a hard alcohol person, I'm gonna be honest. So before I went sober, I was trying to learn about the different types of wine and stuff like that, and understand the palates of that, because I do enjoy. I just enjoy being in those different spaces, and I enjoy people and different things like that. So I think I love that I can be in a room with, Christians and have a conversation and be adept, and I can go be in a room with, some nerdy gamers and do that. And also the crossover where it's like, oh, and I get that a lot, like, oh, I didn't know you were into that too. It's like, and not saying that like, because some people are just one way. I'm just glad that I'm able to like, like, I'm into music, but I'm also a nerd, but I also read, but I also video edit, but I'm also a photographer, but I'm also like working out, like, like these like other different things, because this is who I am. And I think I'd be able to maintain all those different things, so I don't know. I enjoy it because the ultimate pursuit of just being who I am. I think who I am is going to be a cultural person. I've always enjoyed cultures.
I feel like I'm in that same boat. Like I always was intrigued by, like, even though I'm not an anime person, like I want to learn about anime. I want to watch.
He's Akira Toriyama.
Oh yeah, he passed this week. Like I want to learn about anime, and I want to like find an anime that I enjoy watching or reading, like a comic or manga or whatever, but manga. But it's just like I also just like get fascinated by people who are passionate about it. So I like watching them engage in it, like whether it's a video or a convention or something. I'm like, these people are really about this. Like that's so cool. Mm-hmm. Like I would like to learn why they're into it, like how they got into it, like what makes them like so committed to it. And that comes with any like interest or culture, whether it's a ethnicity culture or like regional culture, or if it's a gaming culture or a sports culture. Like it's just intriguing to see people passionate about stuff and like learn about why they're into it. And so I've always been like that. But thinking about third places, maybe this is my third place.
The special friends.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be. That makes sense.
I always feel welcomed. Y'all know me.
Yeah.
I feel good when I'm around y'all.
Yeah.
So
this isn't home, so that makes sense.
So maybe that's one of my third places.
Yeah, and I think that's the ultimate goal with Wuzi Media for me, is to make it a third place for people.
Yeah.
Creatives, to be specific, or people who want to be creatives. You know, I think being a creative, especially, I think most creatives are multifaceted.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes them so unique and so beautiful. And I feel like with that, it can be hard to find a true third place.
Yeah.
Like you said, I got multiple places, but I don't have a place where I can go and like really get into nitty gritty about all the things that I like. And maybe there isn't a place like that, but I do find myself, like when I say this, but like my if I had to choose one to be my third place, I think it is going into these events, especially events where creators are gonna be present, because I think those are the people that I usually find myself having the most impactful conversations with.
And they bring a lot of diversity.
Yeah. And I think with being a creative, like it really is the most diverse environment, because somebody who's a video creator in Malaysia and me, a video creator here, like there's still similarity that we can have conversation about. Yeah, his background might be different or where he draws inspiration from, but the tools and how we convey it are the same. And I think that's something like that's pretty cool, whether you're doing it in music, whatever. So I think that's like the ultimate, I know that's the ultimate goal, kind of directly inspired by like Colin Samir type stuff. But I want to create spaces for people who are creators and creatives, and have like you said, be a friendly environment where you're gonna pull up and see some people that you can really politic.
Yeah, I think I was super desperate for that for a while. Like you can ask like Avni and a few of my other friends, like they know I was trying to find creators or creatives, especially around production and podcasting and YouTube. I had a whole meetup group for it, which lasted for like a summer, which was nice. But it never really went past that. And so
what stopped?
Some people moved, some people just started prioritizing other things. And so like the few, I think I had like maybe 6 people who were pretty consistent. They kind of just branched off and to like focus on other stuff.
Makes sense.
And so, yeah, it was at the point where I was creating meetup groups. So I was like, if I can't find anyone interested in these things, I'm going to create spaces for folks that are interested in these things, and hopefully they'll come to me, which I was able to do. I was able to create like a women's support group and a few other things, which was really cool. It was a good season for me to just meet people. I still am in contact with those folks, and we keep up with each other and like support each other when we can on each other's projects, but it's just not like a place anymore.
Yeah.
So I was happy when I met you and Allie, and y'all brought me into this. I was just like, and even Avni the other day when I was hanging out with her, she's like, "Oh, I'm so happy you found your people." I was like,
"What you mean you people?"
I was like, "Yeah, me too."
I'm dead. That's what's up. I'm glad that, I'm glad you got a positive experience from it, because, even if it's on a small level, I think it starts small.
Yeah.
I definitely got a lot of people that I want to collaborate with, and not collaborate as far as like just doing something together, but I just want to get in community with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So there's definitely going to be some things that you probably get invited to bring more people together.
Yeah.
But I want to also do it on a public scale. I do a lot of, I've been good at doing it on a private scale, but I think that's the problem, is that I'm not a cliquish person. And a lot of times when I realize when you do it in a private scale, like people feel like they don't know where the barrier to entry is. And I've never been the type of person to be like, "Nah, bro, you're not cool."
Right.
because I've been on the side of that, you know what I'm saying? So
you can't even get in.
Yeah, for real. Like, so yeah. Well, guys, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't have anything else to talk about, I don't think.
Well, guys, thank you guys again for watching another episode of Special Friends Podcast. I realized I didn't do a call to action. So do me a favor. If you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, rate the audio version 5 stars. I'm screaming it from the rooftops. We want to run it up. As always, thank you guys for supporting us. I really want to tell you guys again. I want to say too, keep Allie in your prayers. You know, her and her family. Keep her in your prayers. We're gonna have our next episode, but just really want to reiterate that point. As always, I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thank you.
Peace.
You're my special friend.